Good morning, and it's Monday, the 11th of April, and I'm here, Karen Curitan, as I am now every Monday with you, no more Fridays, sharing my top social media tips and learnings from my life on social media. So who am I and what do I do? Well, if you've never joined me before, sorry, just moving my coffee out the way. I work with individuals and organizations to help them understand social media. My theory is around demystifying it, putting it into real language, making it easy to understand and straightforward to do so that you get results. So that's me in a nutshell. So today I thought I would just have a bit of a chat with you about what I learned from last week, because as a business owner, I believe that we're always learning. And if you're not, then you're not listening. And this is really important because my background, for those of you who don't know me before, who've never met me before, is my background was in sales. And to be a good salesperson, you're always listening. You're tuning in that little radio that sits in your ear, listening out for what people are saying, challenges they're facing, what problems they're having, and how can you help them? Because we don't sell products or services, we sell a solution to a problem. And what problem are your perfect clients facing that you can support them with? So, perfect example for this, I had a phone call, and there's two learnings in this little story. I had a phone call 3 weeks ago, actually, from somebody I met, must be 20 years ago, in my old corporate life. And we always got on really well. He worked for a local company and then 5 years ago set up on his own. And he called me a couple of weeks ago about his social media coverage because the person that looked after it for him had left, been poached by a competitor. Now, there's two things there because that leaves the business very vulnerable. So if you do outsource your social media, have you got a plan for if that company moves on, stops doing things, increases the prices to such a point that you don't want to work with them? Do you have a fallback plan? That's a whole other day session. Or what you're going to do if you have to do it yourself. And we had this conversation about how this person had been doing their social media, and I followed them, so I knew what they'd been doing. And I said, well, I think it was lacking a little personality. I think it was very much selling. I think there's a lot that we could do to bring it to life. And I think that's the big thing. It's about bringing your message to life. So when people are ready to work with you, then they remember you because you're genuine, you're honest, you're straightforward, you're real. So we had a conversation and I listened to everything he was saying. Well, it sounds to me like it would be better off to have somebody if you've got somebody on your team that we can train up to run your social media for you. No, I think we just want to outsource. And that's, well, short term, yes, that's a solution, excuse me. Short term, that's a definite solution. Long term, well, it's going to be more expensive. So I'm happy to take your money. But long term, I think the best solution for you is to train up a member of your team. Have a think about, no, I want a price to outsource. And guess what? 3 or 4 days later, he came back to me and said, I've been thinking about it. Yeah, we have got somebody on the team. We'd like you to train them. And just like that, the whole thing changed because I could hear what he was saying. I could hear he was concerned about cost. But also the best person to run somebody's social media for anybody who's watching, who's ever outsourced, is people within the business. You need to have people within the business because they understand the business more in depth than somebody who's an external person will ever understand, no matter how immersed they are. It's no secret that the few clients whose social media I run for them, the longer I work with them, the better we get at it because we get to know their business. And that's really important. So thinking about that. So lesson for today is always listen. And it sounds really obvious, but we used to say when we worked in sales, we've got 2 ears and 1 mouth. We need to use them in that order. Use your ears first. Sometimes it's best just to sit and listen, or to ask the right questions. Really important. So the other lesson that comes from that story is a question that I'm often asked, which is, how long is it going to take me to get results from my social media activity once I've done some training with you, Karen? And that's like the $1 million question, because some people will contact you and some people will be interested in your services or products immediately. But the majority of people, we have to stay in touch with them. We have to continue to have touch points with them to make sure that they remember us, because somebody can go from aware of what you do, interest in what you do, have a desire, a need for what you do, to actually then decide to work with you quite quickly. That can take a very short period of time. However, a lot of people, when it's a service-led business, will take longer. It's all about the timing. So I want you to think long and hard. What do you do? Is it service-led? Is it product-led? Because product-led, you're much more likely to get a quicker conversion. But consider how you could have a touch point, because one of the questions I'll often ask companies, whether they're sole traders, whether they're larger organizations, I will ask them, what's your conversion plan? And this is sort of, if you like, the icing on the cake. So I teach people 4 principles to being successful on social media. We have the first element, which is like the foundations, putting the plans in place, thinking about what your benchmark is for success, how you're going to measure that success, what your objectives are of your business. All of those elements, really important. Then the second element is creating interesting, relevant content. Your third element is building your audience. Now, that's going to happen to a degree organically. And your fourth element is your conversion plan. And I spoke to this company the other day and I said, so what's your conversion plan? How are you going to take people from aware of what you do on your LinkedIn page, on your Facebook business page, on Instagram, Twitter, wherever, to then becoming a valued client? And we didn't have a conversion plan. Well, that would be a bit like me sitting here every Monday doing a live and never having a way to take you from being aware of what I do through to being a valued customer or client. So I want you to think long and hard about that. So that's today's learnings from my social media life. I won't be here next Monday. It's Easter Monday. So have a wonderful Easter break. I'm really looking forward to 2 4-day weeks. I can't lie. I'm really looking forward to it. And I will see you 2 weeks today. Take care. Bye-bye.